happening to me. Me, I see they feed my family. Me, I thank God, though. I've never owed any school fees, so God has been blessing my family. We have no problem, no matter how bad Nigeria gets, me and my family, we will never beg in Jesus' name. Because it's not happening to you. Then maybe it's not that bad. Okay, maybe people are not that poor. At least if people are poor, you will know now. Shebi, you will know. At least yourself, you are helping poor people around you. And it is normal. It's almost the same thing. You have all these criminals everywhere. There are many of your elites who are part of this gang called establishment. They are the criminals running the system. And you know why they have succeeded and survived this long? Because Nigeria is a crime scene that indeed protects criminals. When they are ready to sacrifice any of them, don't jump there and start saying, why is it that it's only the Yorubas? Why is it that it's only the, why is it that, come on. Anyway, like I said, I just thought I should say that because we have these two criminals from Kano. One of them is called Kwakwanso. Are you with me? Kwakwanso and Gandola, the Babariga mobile banking CEO. Now, Kwakwanso and his gang, they have done shege in the last 2 weeks. So Gandola and his political fraud, his fraudulent political establishment in Kano. Remember, you are the victims of any of their decisions and policies. Remember that. And you can begin to say, and I love that guy, and I love this and that too. That's your business. But when they finally had a chance of talking, there's been this kind of back dealing and all that, which has now brought Kwakwanso as the favorite. They said Kalu is kind of more comfortable, or Kalu's people are more comfortable discussing with Kwakwanso. And that is a betrayal, kind of a betrayal thing to Gandola. Now, Gandola felt like he gave everything in supporting and bringing Kalu to power. That is Setif Numbu. And he deserves all attention, even though he didn't deliver as expected. He was overpowered by the Kwakwansias. Some of you probably should remember this in case if you don't. Gandola was Kwakwanso's deputy governor when Kwakwanso was governor of Kano. In 2015, Gandola was the governorship candidate endorsed by Kwakwanso as the incumbent governor. So when Kwakwanso left, he handed over to Gandola. And the first thing Gandola did, he went after Kwakwanso. Cut the long story short, Kwakwanso left APC and then started an NNPP. And then they chased the Gandola out of Kano government house. And then they are almost chasing him out of favor with Kalu. So this clash, the media now ask them, see, you, Kwakwanso, every time Gandola go talk, say, you don't deserve that. This attention we Kalu they give you don't deserve them. And Kwakwanso was like, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. Now, story Kwakwanso talk, inside the same villa, Gandola did there. And Gandola said, I heard that he's in this villa, but I haven't seen him. If I have seen him, I would have given him a slap. That's how serious that's how clownish these criminals are. Well, in their own words, though, Channels Television, owns the credit to this clip. Let's listen. Kwakwanso.
Now, you see, we are all politicians, and I'm sure you know how strong we are in Kano. The former governor, who is in our league now, former governors forum, is a member of our forum now, was our member, one of the senior members of Konkosia in Kano. He was my deputy governor in 1999. In 2003, when I was appointed Minister of Defense, he was my SA in the Ministry of Defense. After we finished in 2007, I came to this very villa to ask my brother, also somebody who was of class 1999, Umar Musa Yar'Adua of blessed memory, and I appealed to him to give him job. Because the job I had was NDDC, which was not enough at that time to make him my SA. So he was given the executive secretary of the Chad Basin Commission with headquarters in N'Djamena. That's 2007. 3 years after that, I invited him when I got ticket to resign and come and join me again. He resigned from his appointment to be my deputy again. And we won the election, 2011-2015. In 2015, because I wanted inclusive government, all our members to be together, I said, okay, take. And he became the governor of Kano State. And since then, you could see what happened in Kano. In fact, he had to stop me from going to Kano for 3.5 years. I was in the Senate. I couldn't visit Kano. Even the security, at that time, the police especially wrote letters to me that I should not go to Kano. And I stayed in Abuja for 3.5 years. Now, all those things are history now. I think where we are is the issue of demolition. You see, many people don't know politics. People don't understand us. But the question somebody should ask, especially those who saw the crowd in Kano on the 29th of May, is why are the people of Kano really in love with our position, with our members of Konkosia? Because at the time of election, we had no federal government, he had. We had no state government, he was the governor. We had no state assembly, chairman of local governments, 44, he owned them, and 484 councillors. We had no contractor, we had no plot to give anybody, nothing, zero. And they brought everything, they put everything on the table to win that election. And they lost, just like they did in 2019. That time they had somebody to impose him. And this time around, this my senior brother here is a Democrat. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. Even though I know he helped him in a way, being a member of his party, but he lost the election. So, having said that, I want to say that what is happening in Kano is one solid and concrete promise that the governor made, that any building within government institutions, he will demolish them. Not plots, not anybody's house, any property in government premises, he would demolish them. And you see, on that, we saw even many people dying. If you go to Kano on the 29th of May, so many people lost their lives, even on that day, to bring this change to Kano. Now, so far...
So that's the short story. Gandola and Kwakwanso. But it won't be fair if we don't hear from Gandola too, before I will add my own comments. Babaringa, mobile banking CEO of Kano, ladies and gentlemen.
If we cannot respect what a previous government has done, to consider it illegal without going through due process, how can we administer public like that? So these are the issues with the cliff. It's not a hearsay. We have the thing going on. People are abusing the government now. Those who can speak Hausa, we can put the clip for you to hear what they are saying. And unfortunately, some of their members are even affected. So, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, that is what took me to Mr. President, and I have briefed him adequately on this. I have spoken with the IGP. I have sent the clip to IGP. IGP is aware of this. They are still, in fact, he even made a press statement they will continue demolishing Konkoso himself. Not even the governor. The governor is not even talking because he's a stooge. And from inside information we have, he's not even happy. I know he's in the building, but we have not met. Probably if we met, maybe I could have slapped him.
He could have slapped him. That's somebody who sold government land, government properties as scraps. Schools, they will sell the playing ground. Playing ground where they call the heat in some places in Kano. They started selling the land around them and they are building shopping malls. And guess those who were buying the properties? Either himself, his son, a member of his government, or those who are the contractors in his government. And it was so ridiculous, right? That the person who is demolishing right now, truthfully, has no other excuse to give in doing that. It just went on like they built all these things on government lands. This criminal built a building in Kano, a supposed government building, 450 million naira. That was how much he paid. And he sold it to his son. Listen to this. 10 million naira. In Kano. Maybe an exaggeration, sha. But ridiculous money when they release all those things there. And he said, if I have seen him in this place, I heard he's in the building. So he went to Kalu to go and tell Kalu that, Mrs. President, you will need to do something. You need to help us. So everything that I did, these guys are undoing them. And that's exactly what he also did to Kwakwanso. Now, here is the picture I want you to see. Look at these guys. They have been like recurring decimal in Kano's politics. Since I have known about Nigeria politics and Kano, I've known about 3 people. At least after, what's that man's name again? Oh, yeah. And he came now and he just went. But anyway, I'll remember. Rimi. After Rimi's time, we don't know about Obasanjo's time, yeah? You'll be hearing about Rimi, Abubakar Rimi. Then you have Bafarawa. You have Kwakwanso. Then you have Bafarawa. Then you have Kwakwanso. Then you have Gandola. And now you have the Kwakwansi, which is an indirect or third term for Kwakwanso as his own stooge. Is now governor for 24 years. A lot of those who grew up in Kano, they have known all these criminals all their lives. These 3 criminals or these 2 criminals, they've known them all their lives. You know that Bafarawa own, Now that one collected, collected 6 billion or something for prayer so that they can offer prayer for Jonathan to win election in 2015. That one collected 6 point something billion from Dasuki. That's how much you know about Kano. Bunch of rogues and criminals. But guess what? The victims are the millions of people in Kano. When these criminals clashes and they do what they are doing right now, those who are going to be the victims, overall victims, are the people of Kano. I know you're going to tell me, no, Kwakwanso is better. Gandola built road and bridges, but yet none of them is interested in building any human capacity or human, doing something called human development. It's about building roads and building bridges, because that's exactly where they are making their money, you will say. Anyway, when they see themselves and slap themselves, trust me, I will be one of the people to bring it to you and show you. Yeah, okay? Now, let's go to the next one. Now, this next one is about Orji Uzor Kalu. I don't know if you have seen it, yeah? They were doing a valedictory session today for the senators or National Assembly members. And it was the turn of Orji Uzor Kalu. As Baba can't cry, you say, everybody they call me thief. Call me thief, here and there, thief. I have businesses. There's nothing money can buy that I couldn't afford before I became governor. I had businesses here, I had businesses there. People will not get any source of income, we don't get any business at all. They are pressing them. They are, you know what I mean? Like, and these guys are flaunting wealth that they can't even explain from where they get it from. But he that worked hard in all his life, they are now calling him a thief, a thief, a thief. Orji Uzor, Kalu, you stole 104 billion naira from Abia State. You and your mother. That is why they call you a thief. You got sent to jail for it. You said it was your enemy that decided to plot against you and punish you. You are a thief. But for the first time, I never believe politicians actually hate it or kind of, it is painful when you call them thieves. After watching this video, make it a convenient thing for yourself. When you see the criminals in Nigeria or anywhere their names are mentioned, call them thieves. Uzor Kalu cry? Baba, see cry of a billionaire.
And when Mr. President, Deputy Senate President, my colleagues, I want to start by thanking all of you for being brother's keeper. Mine will be a little bit emotional because when I had problems in these chambers, I know that most of you stood behind me. And I want to thank, I have to mention a few senators. I have to thank Mr. President. I have to thank Senator Amusu, Senator Alero, Senator Goje, Senator Yahaya Abdullahi, and my deputy. Why I'm thanking them is that these people were with me throughout during the problems. And I thank the Vice President because he was coming to see me every week. Mr. President, today is the beginning of new friendship to all of us in the chambers. It's not the end of the old friendship we started. I want to thank my constituency for bringing me here. And I want to that coming here gives me a lot of latitude to understand Nigeria better, to understand what we stand for better, to fight more for united Nigeria. I believe that we are dispersing, not separating ourselves. I went through one of my best time in life in the Senate, and also went through one of my difficult period. Also in this Senate. Before I came to the Senate, before I came into politics, I can buy anything body can buy. I'm not a thief. Those that put me in prison know the reason they put me in prison. They took over all my businesses and want to kill me. But I survived it. I'm in the Senate with you people. It's not the end to what we have done. It's not the end to united Nigeria. It's not the end to brother's keeper. But these senators I called were with me. I never lacked. When the PDP that I was governor for 2 terms was being formed, I brought every money they use in forming that party. Every penny.
I know they like me person, they cry beside me. I know they too take to start crying, and I don't like it. Orji Uzor Kalu is performing what you can call performing theater or performing art. I mean, is that what it's called when you go and study performing art or performing theater? He wants to be Senate president in the midst of other criminals who have taken their own places here and there. But he said he was the one who was funding PDP in Abia State before he became governor. And he had everything. They took everything from him, forgetting the fact that do you want me to go to his story, or you don't want me to bore you with that? Orji Uzor Kalu cries and said Nigeria is unfair to some of them. Orji Uzor Kalu has been told, you are Igbo. We cannot give you Senate president. We don't trust you. They've said it to his face. And he's probably feeling like, if not for some of his colleagues who stood by him, he would have probably killed himself with the level of disappointment he suffered in Nigeria. This guy left PDP to join APC to still be loved. They still never show him love. I mean, I think if the story is true and not one of those propaganda they put up for us when we were growing up back then when democracy was coming on, right? Orji Uzor Kalu was a billionaire, one of the Babangida boys. He's always been a criminal. Yeah. And when democracy was coming, he was one of those they actually sent. Go back and take over your state. Go there and take this. Go there and take that. And we know what happened. 1999 to 2007, where Kalu was also one of them. They are older now. They are no longer young men. Older in the sense that they probably are now kind of looking back and saying, we had a good life, or I had a good life. I was once respected. I was once like, so probably that got to him at that point and he was like, look at me today. Watch the other part of the conversation here. Same thing, with a different image. Watch this. Where is that? Right, found it.
I went through one of my best time in life in the Senate, and also went through one of my difficult period. Also in this Senate. Before I came to the Senate, before I came into politics, I can buy anything body can buy. I'm not a thief. Those that put me in prison, no reason they put me in prison. They took over all my businesses and want to kill me. But I survived it. I'm in the Senate with you people. It's not the end to what we have done. It's not the end to United Nigeria. It's not the end to Brothers Keeper. But these senators I called were with me. I never lacked. When the PDP that I was governor for 2 terms was being formed, I brought every money they used in forming that party. Every penny in 1997 and 98. And I later became a thief. And people I gave transport money from my house in VI became angels. This is what Nigeria represents. I want to thank my colleagues for giving me these 4 years of uninterrupted support. Because this country is not fair to so many of us. I built this country, I employed 13,800 workers. People employ nobody, and nobody asks them their source of wealth. I have 3 factories in Lagos, Nigeria. I have 2 factories in Ota, build manufacturing. I have 3 factories in Aba, manufacturing. And I'm a thief. And people that cannot explain where their source of wealth come from, they are not thieves. I leave everything in the hands of God. May God be the judge.
Thank you very much.
Come here, thief. Instead of him to be like this man, Kalu.
I don't read social media anymore. They abuse hell out of me. If I read it, I get high blood pressure. I get angry. I don't read it. So, if I want to hear anything, my children or any of my workers will tell me, this one say this one. If I'm tired, I say, please, forget it. I don't read social media. Alhamdulillah.
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 Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.
Alhamdulillah.
Amen. You should go and learn from Kalu. You know they watch us. You know they read social media because we abuse the hell out of him. Àtàwọn follower Igborere. So you know they watch us anymore. You know they read us anymore. Orji Uzor Kalu come they cry. Some said it's fake. I said no, it probably is not fake. Not fake. He had a chance to say, this country is not fair to so many of us. Baba, let's talk about being fair. Or let's talk about fairness. Is Nigeria fair to you? Be honest, oh. Be honest. Should Nigeria fair here? Since them born you. You don't see anything we call fear, fairness. I'm not talking about those of you that what do you call it? You are your own case is different. They have a name for you. Why do I keep forgetting all those names? They have this name for those children who are like did they call them insurance kids? No, they don't call them insurance kids. They have a name for some of you who be say you don't like anything where you are growing up. They have a name for you, but when I get it, I'll tell you. I'm not talking about you. Should Nigeria fear to anybody? But look at those Nigeria has given everything to. Orji Uzor Kalu is one of them. Your politicians in Nigeria, they are the luckiest in any part of the world. In the whole world, Nigeria politicians are the luckiest politicians in the world. And you only ask for something so simple. Basic amenities of life. Good road, good schools, good hospitals. Safe environment for yourself, for your family, for your children. Opportunities to become whatever you want to become, the greatest you want to be, and be a benefit for your. That's so the few things you're asking them for. Those are the few things they couldn't give to you. These criminals pay themselves. What they call the what's it called? Uncomfortable allowance. No, they have a name for it too. And because they have it, but what that money meant is that hardship allowance. That's the name. After being paid almost 30 million naira every month as a lawmaker, they pay them money to read newspapers. They pay them money for reading newspapers because of the hardship of being lawmakers. And that one opened his mouth when his other friends, who are other thieves, decided to decimate his proceeds of crime that they normally kind of pretend to legitimize. I employed 8,300 people. And what does that mean? And how does that change the fact that you stole over 100 billion naira from the people of Abia State? Money that could have went into good roads if you are not stealing. good hospitals, better school for children. Even it could have served as a access to education fund for the poorest children in Abia State, for them to access. The best tool you could give to them, education. So it's a pity party. And me pretending to be in, so I'm not, I don't feel pity for these criminals. No criminal, none of them who have had a chance of indeed impacting on the lives of the people. But all they impacted is pain, anguish, and all that. So if you get emotion left, if you share them for him, me, I don't get any left to share with anyone. I've got a few other things I want to share with you, but I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to, okay, you know what? Let me spend another 10 minutes with you because indeed it was meant to be part of this chat. Yesterday I told you, or did I actually showed you the former criminal, a former governor of Zamfara State who just left there. Somebody who turned Zamfara into the headquarters of Fulani terrorists, where farmers have been slaughtered because of the gold that they claim to be under their farm. Yeah. And suddenly this guy came out and he displayed some bar of gold, right? And he said, this is Zamfara gold meant for Zamfara. And he has opened a bank as well as a vault. Sorry, he has opened a vault in a bank in the United Arab Emirates, that is in Dubai. So Zamfara gold will now be sold to a bank or will be kept in a bank's vault in UAE. These Zamfara people have no clue of what he's talking about. Obviously, he's just opened a business for himself, and then which means he could continue to take their gold and make them believe that he's saving the gold for them, not knowing that, like others, right? It is a family business now, just like the state's money became the family account and family purse, right? Now, you got defeated after 4 years of all these killings and stealing, only for you to leave the government house with over 40 cars. Like, what kind of greed actually work in the mind of these poor people with money? Because I keep saying it. A lot of you believe that money will take you out of poverty. No, money won't take you out of poverty. Because if money will take you out of poverty, listen, your criminal politicians who are amassing wealth, stealing money needlessly, money they don't need, buying things they don't need. These are the poor people's mentality. Let me take as much as possible so that I will never lack. You are stealing automobiles that are always going to go out of fashion in another few years. As a governor, he took 40 cars, over 40 cars out of government house and government buildings, and he took them for himself. Why would you do that? It's because it is Nigeria. You don't believe me? Watch this. So tell me, if it is not poverty mentality, what does he want to use 40 cars for? Government cars, government property. That is stealing. But if you meet an average Nigerian, and you want them to tell you how they feel about their politicians and what they would do if they were them. First, they will tell you, or first, they will accuse you and say, "But you are not sent to. If now you, won't you do more than that?" Eh? Look at Obasanjo. Obasanjo has average Nigerian. Look at Obasanjo. He has stolen the money that in 100 years' time, his children, they will never suffer. If you see Buhari, if you see Tinubu's family, Tinubu's children, for another 100 years, they will never suffer again. And when you ask them, what did they do to make such money? What kind of question is that? They will ask you. What kind of question are you asking? Is a former governor. Do you know what it means to be former governor? Or is a former president? Do you know what it means to be former president? Former Nigeria president. His family can never suffer again. Even they can never work. They don't even have to work in their life anymore because their papa was former governor, because their papa was former president. And they will tell you, Omo, if I become president, even if I just become president for 2 days, how many of you will remember this when you were growing up? Or maybe they still do now. They have ingrained poverty in our mind. They engraved it in our mind. So they, small boys, small girls in Nigeria will tell you that just to be president for just 2 days, I can never be poor again in my life. Ask him, what work are you going to do for 2 days that will set you for the rest of your life, other than stealing like a poor man who believe that money is all it takes to not be poor? Have you seen their family members? Have you seen their children? They have all the money, but they have no real value per se. They are scroungers, scavengers. They take off, they are freeloaders. They take off the system. They couldn't create wealth. They can't. They take. And a lot of you are waiting for your turn. Let us say the truth to ourselves. Forget about English. If now you, your papa become president, sure you go suffer again. Are you going to be poor again? Let's be honest, Jare. Don't let us be lying to ourselves. That's the way Nigerians will tell you. They have no problem with corruption. No, they don't have any problem with it. You just feel jealous when they are not the one benefiting from it. You get that? So if it is not poverty mentality, what do you want to do with 40 cars? What do you want to do with it? What do you want to do with all these houses? What did they want to do with all these houses? So many of them, they are buying outside Nigeria. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of properties outside Nigeria. They don't even live there. They are just there, just for status. And they will say, we can never be poor all over our life. They don't pay insurance. They don't pay any tax on them. It is like, yes, because I was a former governor. Why are you surprised? At least I'm still very better than the other one. If you know what the other one, if you know what they stole, you go appreciate me, say I didn't steal like them. What is 40 cars? Do you know how many cars people gave to me for free when I was governor? Then when they gave you things for free when you are governor, everything you got when you are governor was free. Why did you then have to steal? If no be saying a poverty mentality, I have to steal for my generation to come. I have to steal. When ordinary change, listen to this. One ordinary change in policy can render all your politicians, your billionaire, former president, former this, former that, poorer than you can ever imagine. Yes, now, will be Nigeria. Anyway, so we saw that. And every time they are playing their... I wanted to tell you about the tribunal today, about what INEC also admitted, that there was rigging, manipulation, irregularities in that charade called election. But they want the court to still uphold the results. Despite all of that, we still want you to uphold it. They've started the propaganda already, where they're going to tell you to kind of, let's admit that there was rigging, or let's do government of national unity. Let's do every other thing to make us just move on. You can't move on from this. Anyway, I just won't be able to do that. Some will be like, why are you rushing? Am I going to stay? I know. You know I enjoy staying that much, right? But I kind of will have to go. But I will see you some other time. Please do me one favor before you leave. You can still like the broadcast. Don't take it personal on me. that I am not letting you or letting us have all our full time. I will make it up to everyone, okay? The next time. Thank you so much for this, and I will see you some other time. So good night from here.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun Diary politico.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.